In this video, I'm gonna walk you through my top 5 reasons to buy or not to buy the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i in 2024. This is one of my favorite creator-focused laptops with plenty of performance and power efficiency. Now, the first reason is going to be the RAM. Now, this laptop comes with the Intel Core Ultra 9 185H and either an RTX 4050 or an RTX 4060. A little bit later in the benchmarks, we'll see which one would be right for you, 4050 or 4060.
Help me help you.
But the RAM is 32 gigs on both configurations. So no matter which configuration you purchase, you're gonna be getting a great amount of RAM for a great price point. Now the RAM is soldered, so you will not be able to upgrade it post-purchase. However, there are 2 M.2 slots. If you take off the bottom cover, one is populated with your boot drive and one is unpopulated. So you can go ahead, put in a 2 terabyte or even a 4 terabyte SSD and expand your storage very easily. Now, I would not recommend fussing with that boot drive. I mean, I've been in this kind of computer world for quite a long time and it's messy. So it's really nice that there's the additional M.2 drive. Now, the next thing is going to be the display. Now, for a long time, creator-focused laptops have struggled getting the really nice premium color accurate displays, but also at a good price point. And this laptop really nails it. Now, another thing is that a lot of creators have often been afraid of OLED displays. They're afraid that they're gonna end up getting burn-in on their screen. This is not an OLED display. This is a 3.2K IPS display. It has a resolution of 3200 by 2000 at 60 Hertz refresh rate, 425 nits of screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 90% Adobe RGB, and 97% DCI-P3, all at a delta of 0.79. So not only does it have a good color gamut range, which means the amount of colors it can reproduce, but it also has a really great accuracy, meaning the closeness of the accuracy to the original projected color that it's able to reproduce. So it's a really high quality screen. It's not an OLED. So no worries about burn-in. Even though the technology is developed and it's much less of a concern than it's ever been, you can just avoid that worry completely with this laptop. Big thanks to Lenovo for sponsoring this video and sending over the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i, making it possible to keep my channel alive and produce these in-depth reviews to help you with your buying decision. Now the next thing, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons that I'm excited about this laptop in 2024 and why I'm saying a lot of people should be considering this as their purchase. The power and efficiency of this laptop are second to none. So most creator-focused laptops struggle with the same thing. Okay, you have a nice aluminum thin and light chassis. You put an RTX 4070 or 4060 or 4050 into the laptop. But then, because it's a creator-focused laptop, you want to get really good power efficiency because creators are on the go. So most brands cap the maximum graphics power at around 60 to 70 watts. Now, your average gaming laptop is gonna be anywhere from 120 watts up to 175 watts of maximum graphics power. And so therefore you can see that though you have perhaps an RTX 4060 in the laptop, if it were to be throttled to a maximum graphics power of say 55 or 60 watts, you're gonna miss out on a substantial amount of performance. With the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i, you have a 100 watt maximum graphics power for both the RTX 4050 and the 4060. Now, as I've been talking through this, of course, I've pulled up the chart with the different laptops and their maximum graphics power. As you can see, the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i actually beats out some very popular gaming laptops that have been considered some of the top gaming laptops for 2024. And this is a thin and light laptop with great aluminum build quality, a very color accurate, high resolution display, built for creators, all at a great price point. And before we get into that, I know I keep mentioning that, let's talk about the efficiency because that's the other side of the coin. Okay, so they've given us a maximum graphics power of 100 watts, but what did that do to our battery life? Not to worry, we have an 84 watt hour battery with 8 hours of pass mark productivity battery life. Streaming video playback got us 8 hours and 47 minutes. Working in Photoshop, 5 hours and 41 minutes. And then Premiere Pro constant playback while editing is 3 hours and 28 minutes. This was all done at 20% screen brightness with battery saver mode turned on for Windows and quiet mode or battery saver mode for the Lenovo Vantage Center as well. Okay, now let's talk about the price. In the past, what a lot of brands have done as they're trying to create and build a creator-focused laptop is they take a mid-tier gaming laptop And then they add creator elements to that laptop. So maybe a more color accurate screen, maybe, it gets a touch screen that's pen compatible, maybe it gets like a fancy little dial or even a whole nother secondary screen. So they've taken a, mid-tier gaming laptop that's $1,200 to $1,500 and thrown all of these features on top of it. Now you have a $2,500 to $4,000 laptop. So the practicality of purchasing that laptop drops substantially unless you have a large budget on your hands.
I had no idea you had this kind of money.
I see in the comment section all the time, you most likely don't. Most people don't have a massive budget on their hands. Even me, who works with computers all day long, when I go to purchase a computer, I have a cap of how much I want to spend, right? So this really meets that sweet kind of mid-tier, below $2,000 price point. So we have the $1,699 version and the $1,899 version, RTX 4050 and RTX 4060. And when they go on sale, we even see better price points. So I'm going to include links in the description below so you can check the live pricing. They've been doing some pretty good sales, so you want to check that out. And if you do make a purchase of those links, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. And that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Okay, number 5, the reason you should buy this laptop is definitely the features. So this is an all aluminum build, thin and light chassis. And of course, like I mentioned, you're getting that 100 watts maximum graphics power out of this chassis and the efficiency. All right, so checking out the ports, we have a dedicated power adapter, a 170 watt power supply, plugs directly into the power adapter, so you're not taking away from any of your USB-Cs. Huge benefit there. Most, Ultrabooks do USB-C, not with this one. HDMI, 2 USB Type-Cs, and headphone jack. And on the other side, we have our power button, power on the laptop, power off the laptop, 2 USB Type-A's, and SD card reader. Quickly bring in, video footage, photos, if you're using SD cards, so really nice feature. And then your manual cutoff switch for the webcam. Now, another great feature about this laptop is going to be the speakers. You actually have speakers right here on the side and the bottom of the chassis, which creates a really nice immersive audio experience. Now, one thing you'll note is on the top, you have grills here, but these are not speaker grills. Like I turn a song on, listen to it, nothing comes out of these. I guess these are like little vents or styling vents or air vents, but they are not speakers. So just keep that in mind. But here's a sample of the audio so you can hear what it sounds like in use. Something that is not common on laptops these days is a high quality webcam. And they've actually put a 5 megapixel webcam onto the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i. Here's a sample so you see if you like it, see if it fits your needs, see if it's the quality that you're looking for. This is the webcam on the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9i and a little sample of the audio for you as well. Now, the next thing that I absolutely love about this laptop is the large trackpad. If you've watched my videos about the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, I've complained about the small trackpad for years because I know it is a gaming laptop. It's not a creator-focused laptop. But up until this point, that's what I considered one of the best offerings for creators because of the price point. Now we have a laptop that's been built for creators and has a nice large glass trackpad. The click is fantastic. It's soft and quiet, feels great under my fingers. And then matched with the keyboard and the numpad with the nice dipped keys, medium key travel, it's a great combination, very comfortable to work on. Here's a sample of me using the keyboard and trackpad so you can hear what that sounds like for yourself. Now, of course, keep in mind, it is a manual click trackpad. I know a lot of brands are moving towards the haptic trackpads. Not sure how you feel about haptic trackpads, if you're into them, if you're not. Comment below. I'm super curious if people like haptic or don't. I personally like them if it's done well. Of course, why would I like them if it's not done well? But I find that the manual click trackpads offer more reliable consistency in brands doing them well on a macro scale. You can find haptics that are really good, but they can be kind of hit and miss sometimes. We're going to get into the performance benchmarks here in just a moment, but first let's talk about the reasons why you maybe shouldn't buy this laptop. I know I've given a lot of reasons why this thing is a fantastic buy, but let's talk through some possible cons that some people may have in regards to this laptop. Now, first and foremost is that this is not an OLED display. Some people really do like OLED displays. And honestly, it's kind of odd to see a high resolution IPS display on a laptop in 2024 for a lot of people. A lot of people are expecting LED, mini LED, or OLED displays just flat out. And so if you're looking for that, this is an IPS display. The second thing is that this is a touchscreen. However, it's not pen compatible. So this would not be a great fit for an artist looking to draw on the screen with a pen. It does not have any dials or little fancy features. It doesn't have extra screens. It is your standard clamshell laptop. So if you're looking for those extra features, this laptop is not going to be the right pick for you. However, like I mentioned, that's what makes it such a great price laptop, is it hits on the nail the essentials for a creator laptop. Now, the next thing would be upgradable RAM. As mentioned earlier, it does come with 32 gigs of RAM. However, it is not upgradable. It's soldered to the motherboard. So if you're looking for a laptop to take you up to 64 gigs of RAM and you want to upgrade it yourself and tweak things and get the right timing on your RAM and yada, 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 not going to happen. However, like I mentioned, there are two M.2 slots which are available for you to upgrade if you so choose. Max GPU performance. As I mentioned earlier, the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i with the RTX 4080 has a maximum graphics power of 175 watts. And you'll see later in the benchmarks that a laptop of that performance is going to beat the pants off of this laptop. However, that's a more expensive laptop. It has gamer features and functionalities. So that's where the difference in laptop lies. This is creator and efficiency focused. Now, there are laptops that are creator focused that do have higher performing GPUs. However, that's where we screw up the budget and we're in laptops that are $3,500 to $5,000 with this really large GPU performance. So where I'm looking at with this laptop, as I mentioned earlier, when talking about the positives of price, is it's a good mid-range price point that most people can manage. Now, another thing that drives me a little bit crazy, because I don't actually use the Numpad all that much. I know a lot of creators, whether 3D modeling or setting up shortcuts for Photoshop or video editing, they use the Numpad. I don't. And so therefore, having the trackpad shifted over on the keyboard deck to align with the standard keyboard is a little funky to me. I prefer to have the keyboard centered without the Numpad and then have the trackpad in the center. I know a lot of people have commented on the video and mentioned something similar to this, so just something to keep in mind if it's something that might bother you. Now, for left-handed users, honestly, they find this very practical because the keyboard is closer to the sides. They kind of can center themselves up a little bit more, where in the past, they kind of have to shift over because it's in the center. For right-handed users, it's kind of the opposite. We have to kind of shift over. So, tomato, tomato. Just wanted to make them aware that that could be a con for you. Without further waiting, let's talk about the performance. Now, just as a recap, we have the Intel Core Ultra 9 185H, the RTX 4050 and the RTX 4060 version going to be in the benchmark charts, as well as both models having 32 gigs of RAM. Now, first and foremost, you can see the simulated benchmarks are going to be the same for these laptops because, of course, we have the same CPU and the same RAM. Now, as we go ahead and move down the line and get into 3D modeling, you can see it makes a difference going with the RTX 4060. Now, remember, both laptops have the max graphics power of 100 watts. So they're both going to honestly outperform most counterparts that are available with similar GPUs, whether 4050 or 4060. So it's really awesome to see great 3D modeling performance out of this laptop and at this price point with the features put together. Now, there are other laptops that do have a higher maximum graphics power. Something like the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i has a 140 watt maximum graphics power. And so you can see it's going to have more performance inside of things like 3D modeling because it's able to pull more from the performance of the GPU. Now, looking at Photoshop, you can see that having a slightly bigger GPU does give you a bump in performance. So you can see about a 400-point difference between the RTX 4050 and the 4060. So if you're somebody who uses Photoshop a lot, lots of layers, it may be a benefit to you to go ahead for the 4060 because there are some slight advantages there. Now, going ahead and looking at video editing, it's truly amazing to see a laptop at this price point, as I keep mentioning, and the performance capabilities that it has. You have a 2-minute and 17-second export out of the RTX 4060 and a 2-minute and 47-second export out of the 4050. Two great export times, but it's really impressive to see the 4060 version right in line with some of the top gaming laptops with higher maximum graphics power limits. Super, super awesome. Now, the next thing to look at is going to be, and this absolutely amazed me, BRAW export. Now, remember, for both the 4K and the 6K, we have a 9-minute clip placed into Premiere Pro and exported out at full quality resolution. 13 minutes and 28 seconds for the RTX 4060 truly blew my mind. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I did not expect this laptop to have such great performance. I looked at it at CES and I was really hopeful. But when I saw it came with the 4050 and 4060, I thought, in the past when laptops have come with those components, they've just been too throttled, and it's just been kind of a blah disappointment. When I saw these results, I got really excited, thinking, finally, we have a laptop that utilizes the components in a really great way, but is also power efficient. Now, looking at the playback for B-RAW, 131 drop frames for the 4050, 50 drop frames for the 4060, and then for red footage, 3,502 drop frames for the 4050, and 671 for the 4060. I mean, again, this is outperforming some gaming laptops in 2024. It's really, really amazing me. In my opinion, this laptop really toes the line for the mid-tier creator laptop, built from the ground up with great performance, efficiency, and features in mind. If this is something you're considering, definitely head down in the description below, click those links and check out the live pricing. I've seen some sales going on over the past couple of weeks, and it could be a great time to jump on a purchase of this laptop. Remember that if you do make a purchase, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. If you're still trying to do more research, you can click or tap the screen here for more videos to help you with your buying decision. I'll see you in the next one.